We're back with Versus episode 2. Did you say something?
I said, "Wow, that was cinema."
Yes, that's myself and my wife and daughter creating a cinematic masterpiece in the in the Maher mansion. So thank you to my wife and daughter for their assistance with that. But today, I'm happy to have somebody on the show that I know has watched a bad movie or two, enjoys a bad movie or two, doesn't like a bad movie or two. You're all over the bad movie spectrum. I think you've actually said in the post you like watching bad movies, so I had to have you on, Mr. Anthony Tisdall. How you doing
Hey,
today?
I'm good. Like I do. I love bad movies. It is very well in my repertoire. I don't like good movies because I find them boring. I want to watch trash, and that's why when you said, "Hey, do you want to be on my second episode?" I was like, "Hell yeah! I want to watch some crappy movie and like talk about it." Like, so I'm in. I'm ready.
Did we deliver with the trash this week?
Oh, it was trash. There's no doubt it was trash, and it was like it wasn't. Well, I know we're going to talk about, but was it like as trash as I was expecting? Like it was in between, but I've seen worse, but I've 100% seen better. Wow.
Yeah. I would have said this is not like, this isn't the worst movie I've ever seen either. It's definitely I mean, obviously, like I said last week, I have a absolute personal vendetta when this distribution company and this production studio join forces. I think across the board, they put out the average worst movies ever. Talking about Jagged Edge and ITN, I see you guys. And the movie we're talking about this week is Dinosaur Prison.
What have you actually gotten us into? What did the source even say?
Just that there's been lots of unregulated experiments happening here and they need to be exposed.
Take a look around, girls. Tell me, what do you see?
That's a raptor.
Okay, give me a status report.
Breach in Sector 4. It appears all 4 subjects have escaped swift.
They've all escaped the cell.
Initial thoughts on Dinosaur Prison, Anthony?
I mean, it was a dinosaur prison. I really didn't know what to expect from it, but it was a freaking dinosaur prison. I expected to see bad CGI. I got bad CGI. I expected to see generally good-looking women in it. There were generally good-looking women in it, but there were some things that surprised me about it. Like there was a lot of talking, a lot more talking than I expected, and for something that was like Jagged Edge similar, there's a lot less nudity. I expected them to kind of, make these women like the generic, oh, like we're just hot women. Like, no, they actually like made them kind of heroine. So it was kind of a weird situation I didn't expect.
I will say this about the Jagged Edge movies. The only Jagged Edge movie that I've seen that actually has nudity in it is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It's the only one I've seen. I mean, I haven't seen every single one. There's definitely movies where women are like, wearing bathing suits or whatever.
Yeah.
But the only one I've ever seen nudity in is Winnie the Pooh, because that was like their big screen blockbuster. Like, we got to go all out. This girl's got to lose her top. Let's go. So, but before that, every other movie is just, sure, there's pretty girls in it, whatever. Some of them are wearing provocative clothing, but never any nudity. Never. There's naked dinosaurs though. So those dinosaurs, full frontal in this movie.
Not a lot of that. All of the girl.
Like I said, so yeah, you're right. It does start out. We have like a team of like Charlie's Angels. They're environmental activists, I guess, kind of like 28 Days Later.
But I went Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. That's
okay. Yeah, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back -1. There's only one.
Yeah,
they're missing. They're missing one lady and the Click Commander. But like aside from that, there's 3 women. And the funniest thing, it's very, very minor nitpick I have. Clearly, you can tell the writer of this movie is British, because these girls have American accents, but they use British slang. Like they call their flashlights torches, and we don't do that.
This is definitely a prison.
Yeah, but doesn't that make complete sense?
How?
It's like the perfect place to do dodgy shit like this.
No, we do not.
But yeah, they're a crack team. Clearly, they've broken into so many places. They're happy to have long conversations about past jobs. But I don't know if you noticed, like two of them are wearing masks, one of them isn't. One of them is wearing gloves, the other two aren't. So I don't know if this is really a professional outfit or not. What do you think about these three girls?
I definitely noticed the very odd, like two of them were dressed as ninjas. And when I first saw it, I was like, okay, are there ninjas in this? Like, that's the first thing that came to my mind. And I was like, oh no, they're all just normal. But like one went with the generic sunglasses and hat, like the MCU style of hiding yourself. And the other two are like full makeup. I was like, and just watching them go through, they're just talking about all the other stuff. They literally just shined a flashlight at the camera, ran directly at the camera to shut the camera off. I was like, I don't know what part of this camera pointed directly at you think it's missing you. I
noticed that too. And they cut the cord to the camera, and then when they go into the room, the camera is clearly still working.
Oh yeah,
the light's still blinking on the camera after they cut the power to it.
Yeah, I was like, the security's bad. I don't know what they're doing. And the only other thing I could think about these three women is the amount of times they said the name Liana.
Liana.
And it must have been 20 times in like one conversation. The other two, I had no idea what their name was, but they're like, Liana. I was like, this director loves that name because he said it so often.
I think they do say Beth a bunch of times too. Like I know the other girl's Beth, and the third girl, I don't know. Sarah.
It's Sarah.
I
do remember it.
Liana is in the movie for less than 10 minutes, but Liana gets her name said 30 times easily. I literally wrote notes and I just put in capital letters Liana because it was said that many times. It's like they went to a script writing workshop, like make sure the characters are addressing each other. And so, definitely Liana, comma this, Liana, blah blah blah, comma Liana. There we go, we got it. And Liana is the one, they've been on a bunch of jobs, but this one, even though they haven't seen anybody, they saw one guard and they hid from the guard. All of a sudden, things are too hot for Liana. So Liana, who's an escape artist, is going to bail on this job. So she runs outside, and waiting for her outside after she goes into a gate is this gigantic dinosaur that, strangely, is not in a prison.
I watched her. I was like, because at one point, this is okay. I mean, I'm going ahead of myself, but this dinosaur was in this cage, and then needed to be let out by yet another dinosaur in a way that blew my mind. And she just walked in. She just opened the gate to this dinosaur's cage and just shut it like it wasn't locked in any way, shape, or form. And then a freaking fireball had to open up this cage with like 20 minutes left in the movie. There's some serious issues going on with this gate. I did not know what was happening.
And the fact that she's not really trying, she's saying she's leaving. She doesn't leave. She leaves into the courtyard and then goes back into another part of the building. Like she didn't go to the exit. Yeah. And then she does not, and this is like a major trope in this movie. No one ever notices that a gigantic dinosaur is right behind them. Ever in this movie. No one ever notices. So this thing sneaks up behind her, and then she turns around, she screams, and then it's the bad CGI, just bloop, and she turns into a CGI person and is eaten.
Excellent. Yeah, legs kicking, and then bye, Liana. I don't have to hear your name anymore, at least.
Yep. And then we Liana, we hardly knew you. The girls go deeper into the prison. Actually, there's a little scene before that too, where they are hiding when the guard comes up to the door, and the one girl is clearly holding on to the pipe where the guy's flashlight beam hits her fingers, and he doesn't notice there's anybody there.
Oh yeah, I watched them. They're literally behind a fence where you can see through the fence, and the guard's just like, I'm going to face this way, but not turn the other way. And then
All
keep
clear.
going straight. Oh, no, we're good. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, then they get down to the bottom level of the prison, and then it just becomes like and this I think is probably like the biggest like what the fuck in this movie is like these characters, and then all the characters they talk to throughout the movie. There's dinosaurs in this prison, but they are acting like it's just the biggest deal is like the human rights of the dinosaurs, not the fact that it's fucking dinosaurs.
Yes,
like there's dinosaurs.
I could not agree more. I was like, does anyone give a shit that there are dinosaurs in this freaking prison? Like, you look at it, it's like, oh, is this a lizard, a Komodo dragon? No, it's a dinosaur. Oh, wow, really? Like, it's a freaking dinosaur. How do you not freak out? Like,
it does not register that there's dinosaurs. And like, I'll skip ahead a little bit. The fact that like, they just leave it. They let it lie there. Like, these are dinosaurs, and it's no big deal if there's dinosaurs. So are we living in a world where there's just dinosaurs? Because even when they talk to the doctor, he's like, yeah, when we do intakes on dinosaurs, like who's bringing dinosaurs here? Like, because there's the idea that dinosaurs are brought there. Then they do all this exposition, how they retroactively engineered dinosaurs. Well, which is it?
I was there's a couple parts of this movie I was like, I'm not really sure where you're coming up with your plans or you just thought we're just going to say we brought him in, but then this guy's also going to say that we reverse engineer because we got to go Jurassic Park style. Like it was I really was like, is there an island that they're just stealing dinosaurs from, or are they literally just walking around like the city?
It's never explained. Like, to me, it's like the fact that they were just so nonplussed with the dinosaurs. Leads me to believe that we are in a world where you could kidnap dinosaurs.
That was my guess, because they seem real chill about it.
It's become like the Lost. This is just an alternate timeline of Jurassic Park where, like, okay, the amusement park didn't work out, but now they're kind of just roaming free. But we need to kidnap them and put them in prison. Though, if that's true, I don't understand why you'd be reverse engineering them and like turning them into bioweapons in the same facility.
Oh, that's a whole nother situation. The bioweapons they created out of these things. That is.
And let's get into the organizational structure of who's running the show here, right? Because you have the guards, right? So clearly it's nighttime. So there's a night crew of guards, and eventually the two ladies get caught. Sarah, I believe, gets knocked out, and and Beth gets captured, and they wake up in an interrogation room. So there's like a police force. Right. Whatever, corrections officers, whatever they are, crew run by a general we never see.
Yeah,
they mention him a bunch of times, but we never see him. But then there's also a team of doctors led by Dr. Jans, who dresses exactly like Willy Wonka.
I have that. That's exactly what I have written.
He is Willy Wonka with a snake cane, and that we can talk for hours about that guy. And he has an assistant, Albert.
Don't worry, girls. I'll get together some documents for you.
Dr. Jan just walks in, lets him out.
Yeah, I was there. There's a situation in this. Like, he walks in, I get it. He's like, okay, I'm taking control. He was in charge, technically, I think, of the facility at the time. I think earlier that day, later in the movie, you find out earlier that day, the other guard took over. Very, again, confusing. But yeah, he comes in, takes the girls, lets them go wander around. All the guards are like, yeah, sure, whatever. Just take these random girls that were trying to release all the dinosaurs and tell them. And then it was just Exposition City. It was like 20 minutes of straight, let me tell you how this works, what's going on, all this stuff. And then that's when this movie really took a turn to realize that they're kind of on the same team. He's the one that gave them all the information to get in. I was like, okay, how did that even happen?
Yeah, the girls are like upset when they first see the dinosaurs in prison, right? Like they're keeping these dinosaurs in cages. And then Dr. Jans is like, well, you wouldn't believe it. but things here used to be worse. Dinosaurs were coming in with infections. They were infecting other dinosaurs. Now we're giving them medical care. But yet, so this guy cares so much about dinosaurs, yet he takes them to like the experimental level where dinosaurs are like predator dinosaurs. There's fire-breathing dinosaurs. There's genius dinosaurs.
Oh yeah.
There's a what's the one dinosaur's name? The abused dinosaur.
Bo.
I call him Bo.
What's wrong with him? You poor creature. All those scars. You look so beaten.
Bo was the first here. Truly tragic story. Before my time, the guards used to punish and beat up Bo. And he's lost all trust with humans. He's isolated. He's never seen one of his own kind.
He's never socialized?
Bo, he's covered in scars, but they didn't put any scars on the CGI dinosaur.
Yeah, he looked perfectly fine.
Yeah, he's a normal dinosaur, but Bo, he's been abused and he wants revenge, and that'll come into play later.
Yeah.
Bo also breathes fire. So we figured out how he can breathe fire.
I know.
So much happens in this movie that it's like I struggle to make sense of explaining it to anybody. I'm glad you've seen it because I don't have to explain it to you.
Yeah.
But you're right. So much exposition happens. It's like you're in a museum for a half hour.
Yes. Oh, easily. I just sat there listening to this guy talk, and I was like, okay, like I'm kind of in because I kind of am curious, like what's going on, and like he was just weird. Like that kind of caught me off guard. He would never take his top hat off. It's really weird. But there's a part of when he's doing all of his exposition that I realize this movie is cut wrong, because there's the girls go and they see these eggs when they kind of meet up with Albert, the other doctor, and they see the eggs and they go, these must be Tina's eggs. I immediately was like, that name doesn't sound familiar. And I rewound the movie through the whole thing of John's exposition, the doctor's exposition for like 20 minutes. Be like, he never mentions Tina. Then again, like 10 minutes later, he starts talking about how Tina is the bomb and those are her eggs. I was like, that was supposed to be before this part.
And finally, this is subject Y, Tina. Tina is another very special case. And she actually has the most potential.
Why does she have more potential?
Tina is highly intelligent. In fact, she's one of the most intelligent creatures on the planet. War is more than just brutal force. Tina listens, understands, and can scope out any situation instantly.
Yes. Welcome to the world of Jagged Edge production. That is exactly it. But I skipped over something that we should have said. When the girls first see the dinosaurs in the cages, Beth delivers the line, "This is a dinosaur prison." Just flat out, just says,
This is a dinosaur prison.
like, yeah, we got to get the title of the movie in there. It's a dinosaur prison.
Yep.
And then also, when Albert gives the girls the information they need, he's giving them all the information. It's just mugshots of the dinosaurs. It's like pictures of the dinosaurs as mugshots. Here's the information you need. It's just dinosaurs facing forward, dinosaurs facing to the side. That's
It contains the Hayesmith compound, photographic evidence, and the medical documentation. There's no other copies, so please be careful.
Thank you, Albert. You're a good man.
all the information he gives them.
I actually laughed out loud for that part because I it was great. There's no words, there's no nothing. Like you said, it is literally like front, side, and you can even see they had the height lines behind it too. I was like, he just gave freaking dinosaur mugshots to these girls. That is amazing. I was like,
What are they going to do with dinosaur mugshots?
I was like, I'm back in. I'm back in at this point. Full on dinosaur prison.
Right. And you know that, okay, obviously any sort of facility that has these kind of bioweapons in it, like something is going to happen where they break out. There's going to be some sort of disaster. This movie obviously, wrote itself into a corner. They couldn't figure out how to do it. So they don't do that. It just cuts to alarms going off with the guards, and they tell the head guard, Hill, like, yeah, Bo staged a breakout.
Okay, give me a status report.
Breaching Sector 4. It appears all 4 subjects have escaped, sir.
Escaped? How?
Bo. He initiated it.
Piece of shit.
Yeah.
They don't say how. Just Bo staged it. Bo, who was like securely in a cell in the deepest recesses of the prison, just staged a breakout. Everybody's out. And then they unlock, all the cages unlock. The dinosaurs know how to work mag locks. And then the shit hits the fan. But why bother explaining how it happened?
No, I don't need that information. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, okay, so the whole way they broke out is Till just saying Bo did it. And he's like, yeah, I knew he was going to do it because it's that guy. I was like,
he's a piece of shit. he calls a dinosaur a piece of shit.
I mean, yeah, and he is. I guess he beats him up, and but this dinosaur is like a dragon. He breathes fire. I was like, how did he get out of this cage if he could have done any other time? And then the whole security measure is everything opens. Like they're like, oh, here's what we do for the security measure. It's like, oh, if these doors open, that must mean that all the doors open. They let them out in the courtyard. They're like, okay, so once a dinosaur escapes, we just open up to the outside world. That's our way of preventing things.
And in case you weren't clear what's happening, it cuts back to Hill, and he says, "There's been a breakout in Dinosaur Prison," which is probably the best line in the whole movie.
Oh, surely that can't mean.
Oh, fuck. All guards evacuate cells B and C. We have a critical error. Leave immediately. We have a breakout in the Dinosaur Prison.
Oh yeah. I loved it. I was like, oh, thank you, Hill, for doing something other than being just a dick.
So the guards have guns. They're clear. I mean, you would think if you work in a dinosaur prison, there's got to be some sort of training program, what to do in the event of a dinosaur breakout. These guys are very ill prepared. They get snuck up on like everybody in the movie does. Like the one guy at the top of the stairs doesn't even notice the dinosaur, just gets them.
That shit with Hill. I don't even know how the fuck they got him.
And the next guy is like, Ben, what's going on? Why aren't you? And he just walks up the stairs and he gets killed. And then the other two guys don't realize they're in a locked facility. And the one guy turns on the other guy. He just sprints away. The dinosaurs don't go after the sprinting guy. They dogpile on the third guy. And this guy can't get out and he dies. So
On my count, we fire and then we get to the gate, all right? 3, 2. Help in the fucking door's locked! Help! Guys, I'm on my way.
So these are very well-trained guards, obviously.
Yeah, did not go well for any of the guards until we get to the one epic member of the squad.
The fail-safe is they call in reinforcements who arrive by helicopter. And Anthony, I'm going to let you talk about. You might have the same conclusion I did of who this guy is, but go ahead. I'm gonna let you have it. Go ahead.
I have literally no conclusion with this guy. This guy just shows up out of left field. Literally, the reinforcements are 2 people. That is it. It's one girl, one guy that come in. Girl gone in seconds. The guy is.
She gets too close.
Gets too close, and then the guy gets this epic sword with he just comes in like a freaking Highlander. His sword flaming around, He's just swinging it. He's like a solid 5 minutes of you just seeing him like practicing, it seems like. And then, lo and behold, it's the camouflage dinosaur. That's who he's fighting this whole time. And then we get bad CGI. There's actually a point I watched him swing, hit the dinosaur, and nothing happened because it's a CGI dinosaur. He clearly swung too far, and it just went through the CGI. And yeah, he winds up killing a dinosaur. I was like, cool. Way to go, sword guy. 10 seconds later, bam, gone.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I was really hoping he would have just done all of the only way this movie would have been better if he did all this stuff and was just trying to be all cool. And before he even got a swing on a dinosaur, he got killed. That would have made this movie 1,000 times better. But
yeah, what I said about that guy, and of course, Dr. Jan, like Dr. Jan's is Willy Wonka, obviously. Like he clearly, they let you dress however you wanted. Like, see, I'm going to put my Willy Wonka hat on and come to work. This guy clearly loves Metal Gear because that's Solid Snake. You're not going to tell me that isn't Solid Snake because he's dressed like Solid Snake and he has a flaming broadsword, which, you know, in modern times, in modern warfare, when you're fighting dinosaurs, a flaming broadsword clearly is just general issue. And
the dinosaur like butter.
Yeah, you're right. Like this huge scene, like I want to say it's a well choreographed fight scene because it's really just him doing sword kata and then them CGIing a dinosaur on the other side of it
in the general vicinity of them.
Yeah, and then he kills the camouflage dinosaur, a big victory. One of the mega bioweapons is down, and then like a T-Rex just busts through the wall, which we hadn't seen before. A giant dinosaur busts through the wall and just eats him. Great.
I did kind of love that part. I was like, yep, I was hoping it would happen, and then it did, and I was like, yeah, that's what I wanted that's what I wanted to occur. Of course, had no idea where that dinosaur came from, but sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
I think then we get to the part where we're back to Dr. Jan's and Beth and Sarah, and they're trying to escape, and Hill is still floating around, and they get to a point where they're like in a little boiler room and a baby dinosaur comes in and Jans is feeding the dinosaur out of his hand, and then Hill comes in and holds the baby dinosaur hostage.
Now you're gonna come with me, help me sort this crap out.
What are you doing?
And then after, you're gonna be held responsible for all of this.
Hill, nobody's gonna believe you.
I'll shoot this little monster if you don't.
It's amazing. Yeah, you just I will kill this dinosaur if you don't give me whatever or help me get out. I was so distracted by him pointing a gun at the small dinosaur that I couldn't even fathom anything else happening. I was like, there's a person in front of you that you could just shoot if you wanted to and take care of everything. But no. Yeah.
And that's kind of I'm usually I am like a bad guy. I root for the bad guys sometimes. I don't root for the bad guys in these movies. But honestly, if I was the bad guys in this movie, this problem is solved. Even when Hill first meets Beth and Sarah, the solution is evident. It's we took your phone. Who are you going to tell? Why didn't, if they're protecting this huge conspiracy, just kill them? You obviously have no morals. Kill these girls and go on with your day.
Maybe they thought that they would die from boredom from the exposition from John's for the next 25 minutes that they had to deal with. Additionally, speaking of the phones, when the hell did they get them back? Because Hill took their phones and randomly in the movie, they just started taking pictures again.
I think Jans gives them back to them, but I don't remember him taking them from Hill.
Yeah, no, I don't know why Hill would give Jans the phones. Hill probably had them, and the next thing I know is this girl's out there just taking pictures of dinosaurs again.
You're going to tell this story. You're going to be able to do your thing.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, then we get to the big dramatic conclusion where and this is the weirdest character. Jans is a good guy, but then and first of all he has I forgot that he has the cane. He limps around the entire movie, but then when the big needle nosed dinosaur busts out and starts chasing Jans, Sarah, and Beth, he is the second fastest person in the group.
Oh, yeah.
He's running with no assistance needed from McCain.
No.
And he hobbles Beth.
Bo, just because you've been mistreated does not make it okay to mistreat us.
He's too fast!
Oh no! Hey,
Yep.
And she falls down and gets torched by Bo. And Sarah doesn't see it. And then he just immediately turns into a good guy again. Like, oh, we got to get out of here. We can't have her die for no reason. It's like, oh, okay. We saw what you did.
Yeah. Like, his character arc was all over the place because he went from I'm trying to help these dinosaurs, so I'm actually was helping you, and then I'm actually gonna not help you. But I think in the end, like the whole plan they had was that he was helping them get there to help him let the dinosaurs out, and all he cared about was getting the dinosaurs free. So he would, if Death was gonna, or Sarah, whichever one of the two are, they're pretty interchangeable after a while.
Yeah.
If her death was going to help him survive and then let the dinosaurs out, maybe that's all he wanted. That's the only thing I can possibly think of with his character arc, where he's like the good guy but actually a bad guy. Kind of
well, we'll find out in the sequel, I'm sure, because this is Jagged Edge. Sequel's coming. And like, so now we're getting like the big finale where like the dinosaurs eventually they bust out of the prison. And randomly, like they kill people that are in front of the prison, even though Sarah and Dr. Jans are also in front of the prison.
Jans, come on!
Get back here!
They survive, and the dinosaurs kind of ride off into the sunrise, not the sunset, the sunrise. Yeah. And Jans is just like, hey, guys, we won. We got to go liberate more dinosaurs. And he just follows the dinosaurs down the street while Sarah just kind of sits there dejected. And then the movie just ends.
Not even, and when you say the dinosaurs rode down the street, let's put the actual perspective here. Not only did they ride down the street, Bo jumped on top of the Tyrannosaurus and rode him like a horse. And then went down the street. Like,
that is true.
He climbed up on top of the Tyrannosaurus, and then they just chilled together and just wandered off down the street like a horse and a person just chilling, riding off into, like you said, the sunset like a Western movie, and setting it up for the sequel for us to finally meet the general that we never saw.
Yeah, that's good. That's going to happen. And they're going to still call it Dinosaur Prison 2, even though they are no longer in a prison.
I'm gonna call it. Of course, it's gonna be Dinosaur Prison 2. I mean, that's got to be. And maybe they go back and release some more. I was a little upset that we never saw the spitting dinosaur. They showed him as one of the 4.
This is Subject V, a Dilophosaurus, genetically manipulated for unparalleled hearing and a targeted screech that can rupture your eardrums.
Why would anybody want that?
Well, so she can disorientate and discombobulate anybody she wants to.
Like, genetically modified ones, the one that could hear, they cut out its eyes. I mean, also terrible. Don't do that to animals.
And it can screech and it can rupture eardrums, and they never use it.
Yeah, it just sat in the cell. Like, this thing is just chilling there. It's the coolest dinosaur you have, and you don't do it
for the sequel.
I'm in. If it's like the main dinosaur of the sequel, like, count me right back in. I'm back in for.
I'll bring you back for Dinosaur Prison 2. You're locked in, and whenever it comes out, 2024, you're coming back for Dinosaur Prison 2. You're the Dinosaur Prison expert.
Oh, yeah, I'm all over this. I remember all their names mostly. I got Bo, Tina, Sarah, Beth, Lillian, or whatever.
Well, I mean, and that's the entirety of the movie. We pretty much told you everything that happened. And I had some clips here for everybody to watch as well. But that's it. Hopefully, we've discouraged you from watching this movie. We watched it, so you don't have to. But if you're morbidly curious, it's on Tubi. It's on YouTube. That's Jagged Edge's philosophy. Just give it away for free, and people will hate it enough to make money somehow. I don't know how they make money, but they'll figure it out. Anthony, where can people find you if they want more of you? Where are they going to find you?
More of me. You can find me with a lack of confidence in all the trivia leagues around here, the horror league, multiplex, all the video store, all that stuff. I'm everywhere, playing in all sorts of stuff. My Letterboxd of _TIZ_abides, where I post all of my, or attempt to post all my movie stuff, sometimes with a review that is just way too long for what I watch. Just wait for the Dinosaur Prison one. It's coming. And it's
I was looking for it. I didn't see it yet.
I'm way behind. I'll probably make a bunch of them tonight. I've got like 4 that I have to do. I don't know. That's it. I exist everywhere. And then I do Letterboxd. I don't really have any podcasts or any stuff that I do.
Yeah, well, this will be dropping on Monday. On Thursday of this week, where this will air, I believe myself and Aaron and Abby over at Why We Love Horror on this channel on Thursday at 5 o'clock. We will be talking about Thanksgiving, which is coming out this week. And then we're going to see Anthony again on Friday because he's playing Dylan Van Dyne in Why We Love Horror Trivia. So you'll see him. We're not going to have any spoilers, but he plays in that match. Until next time, like, subscribe, comment, share, join the Facebook page, do whatever. Support your local horror content, and thank you for watching John Versus.